Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I have a lot of tips and tricks for Delta Force for you. This has been a very requested topic on the channel, and this is going to cover a lot of just general, really good things to know about the game. It'll be split up into specific sections so you guys can look for what you want. But if you do enjoy this type of content and would like to see more, I will be making more of this, so definitely subscribe to the channel with notifications turned on, and be sure to hit the like button on the video. It just helps YouTube know that this is a good video for people to watch on this particular subject. Also, come by the streams. I stream every single day, and we're going to be playing in a $40,000 Delta Force semi-finals in a couple days here on January 9th. Hopefully I can pull through with my squad and we can make it to the grand finals, and hopefully then we can win the entire event. So be sure to follow the streams. It'll be the first link in the description as well as the pinned comment. Now, what am I going to cover in this video? Like I said, it's going to be a lot of general knowledge, so I'll be going over some movement stuff, some game settings, some concepts such as like how to build your weapons for certain situations. I'll show you guys how to do true 1x zoom, so when you ADS, there's no zoom, it is true 1x. If you guys are interested on how to move around the maps, how to play certain areas, definitely let me know in the comment section. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's start going over some of these things that I learned while I played Delta Force. Now, one thing that's very important is holding your breath while shooting in this game. I think this will benefit the majority of people watching the video, regardless of if you play Operations or Warfare. Whenever you shoot in this game, breathing while shooting can significantly reduce your recoil because of the way weapon builds work. We go in here and we go to loadout and we go look at stability. You can see current recoil reduction when holding breath, right? So I get a 0.77 recoil reduction multiplier whenever I just hit the shift key, which is why toggle hold breath is so important. If you do not play toggle hold breath, you have to hold your key for this function the entire time while you're shooting, rather than just hitting it once and then allowing your fingers to do other things. Don't comment weird stuff, guys. Keep it together. We're locked in right now, okay? We're locked in. Everyone lock in. Anyway, this is also where you find all of your toggle/hold settings. So if you want toggle sprint, you can come in here. Toggle walk. I mean, if you walk in this game, sure, maybe that's for operations player. This is where you find all your binds for leaning and toggle/hold lean. And then this game, you come with, I believe, default toggle ADS. So if you hate that, this is where you change it to hold. And then obviously all the keybinds here. Keybinds are personal preference. A lot of people ask me what my keybinds are. I don't really necessarily think it's useful telling people my keybinds because, again, it's so personal preference. Now, the other thing I wanted to show you guys is minimap scaling. This is where your minimap settings are in screen. Warfare, minimap. I don't believe rotating perspective is turned on by default. So if you want a rotating minimap, this is where you come to turn it on. And then also, if you don't like the default view distances the game default gives you, this is where you can, show more distance on your minimap, less distance on your minimap, and that applies for infantry, ground vehicle, and aircraft. Then, of course, your minimap icon scales right here. Now, moving on to a bunch of ADS, FOV, and just FOV stuff in general. This game has a lot of things that affect your FOV, and it can be difficult to find a comfortable FOV in this game. So if you're wondering why things are so zoomed, it's because scope magnification adapts automatically is turned off by default, and that is also being affected by your default weapon sight. So that's added on top of it. If you don't like how much this zooms, pay attention to like this A on the left side of my screen when I ADS. If you don't like that much zoom, make sure you go into settings, game, and turn on scope magnifications adapts automatically. Now, the only FOVs that are affecting anything are your FOV you set in graphics. So field of view, default FOV. This is going to determine your default FOV, okay? And then the zoom that you're seeing, pay attention to this again. The zoom that you're seeing is only now affected by your sight's designated zoom amount. So this red dot sight and all red dot sights that are not default 2x's come with default 1.25 zoom on them. If you want no zoom at all, you're going to have to come in to your weapon screen here, modify. You're going to go to calibrate. You're going to go to the optic. You're going to go to zoom and then get rid of that zoom. So as you can see now, pay attention to this A when I ADS. There's absolutely zero zoom occurring whenever I aim down sights, meaning everything stays perfectly where it is on your screen if that is how you prefer to play the game. I will also cover one last thing regarding this zoom thing. People always ask me, Enders, what does pupil distance do? Honestly, guys, I have no idea. All right, my theory is it doesn't really matter. It really doesn't. I think it just moves the sight FOV like in and out, or the red dot, the physical red dot of the weapon. I think it makes it either closer to your face or farther away. It really doesn't matter. I don't think playing with it either side of the extreme of the setting is going to matter very much. It's probably the most non-consequential setting in the entire game. So you can mess around with it. In my experience, I've played with, default, maxed out this way. Zero difference that has impacted my gameplay that I have personally noticed. Now moving on to a quick crash course about how to sort of customize your weapons in Delta Force to suit your situation. I have a full, extremely in-depth guide on how to customize these weapons. I will link that in the description, and I'll also put a card somewhere in the video that should be appearing right here. Enders in the future that's editing the video. Okay, put it somewhere on the screen so people can find it. I'm not going to explain everything that I'll explain in that full video. The full video is like 20 minutes long. So say you're customizing, I don't know, just like an SMG or an assault rifle or even a light machine gun. The thought process is basically weapon building in this game is sort of like a big puzzle, and you just sort of want to try to offset a lot of things that have bad impacts on your weapon's performance. So for instance, a great tip for customizing any weapon in the game is you're going to go to loadout and then details, and then you're going to take a look at the recoil pattern, okay, right here in control. This is the recoil pattern for your weapon. Take a look at it, and this can make you understand what attachments to attach to it to help like quell the recoil, right? And just as an example, you saw that recoil pattern there, sort of like an S shape. There's some horizontal recoil. So in order to get rid of that horizontal recoil and squish it together horizontally, I use this grip. It has horizontal control, horizontal firing stability, and horizontal firing camera stability. These stats are extremely important. As you can see, when I shoot this weapon, there's no recoil anymore. Okay, so that's because I got rid of it. I just got rid of it. I said, get out of here. So I use this to get rid of some of the HREC, and I use this to get rid of the camera shaking, as well as squish the recoil pattern vertically. So I'm just gonna remove this and show you the difference. If you remember how it shot before, look at the difference that one attachment makes. I'm gonna put it back on now. You see how insane that is? Now, the rest of the build, again, watch the full video if you want the full explanation, but you're going to try to offset things. So you're going to attach things that, maybe sacrifice a little bit of control, but get your handling better. And then, you'll attach something that, let's say your stability is like in the red horribly. You're going to try to attach something that gives you better stability without necessarily making the gun completely unusable. So you will sift through like all of these attachments and go, okay, I'm looking at things here. Okay, this gives me great control, and this gives me good control, great stability, but it screws my handling. Where can I make up that handling in the build? Maybe you look at your grips and you say, oh, wow, this is a great handling grip. And then, the great balance comes into play. But then comes calibration, right? Calibration is more complex. So I'll just do this on an attachment per attachment basis and explain this specific M4A1 build. Okay, generally speaking, on ARs, you're going to want to calibrate the barrel for better muzzle velocity and better firing stability. Firing stability gives you less shake. Muzzle velocity makes it easier to hit targets at range. So no brainer there. Foregrip, generally speaking, you're going to want to calibrate it for stability when moving. It's very important. You just have, it's way more stable. It's easier to aim at things. Then depending on the build's needs, you can either choose ADS speed or control. The reason I chose ADS speed here is if you look at my handling, the handling is the weak point of this build. So I tried to offset it slightly by increasing the ADS speed, which you can see my handling reduces here, okay? going to rear grip, again, stability when moving, control, and generally speaking, you're going to want to stay away from calibrating on aiming stability while breathing because extra control is just more generally applicable. Extra control applies all the time. Meanwhile, stability while breathing only applies while you are breathing. Then stock calibrations here. Different stocks are going to have different calibrations. But for this build, I went with more firing stability and extra control. And I went with firing stability and control on this as well. Now, you might be wondering, okay, well, the handling's pretty bad. How do you get around that? Let's talk about laser aim now. Now, some of you may be confused what I am talking about when I say laser aim. It is sort of called, point shooting by others. It's called canted aim by others. There's a lot of names for it. I call it laser aim because I have no brain cells. The way you use this, if you go to settings and you go to keyboard and mouse, controls and combat, and you scroll down here, you're going to see switch optic or zoom. By default, I believe this is bound to N, the N key. It's not that accessible. This is so useful that I actually put it on my E key for quick access. Reason being, I mentioned it helps you get around bad handling on weapons. It does. As you can see, the handling is not that great on this weapon, but it doesn't matter because I can switch to this, and then look at how fast the ADS time is. Look at this. It's like a 200 millisecond ADS time you get for free just by hitting a key on your keyboard and having a laser equipped. Now let me compare this to the normal ADS time. It doesn't matter that the ADS is less than ideal because I'm only going to use this aim when I'm like 50, 60, 70 meters away from people. If I'm fighting people in CQC and they're right up in my face, even that distance, the canted aim is incredibly effective. Now, some other weird things about this canted aiming. So you're going to want to have your laser on the right side of the weapon. Reason being, you'll notice that when he cants the weapon, he cants it to the left, which means the right side of your weapon is sort of facing upward, which means if you place the laser on the right side, it is more visible and therefore easier to use as a result. Yes, I am that nerdy in this game when it comes to min-maxing things. Now, another thing about lasers. Some people complain, well, the enemies can see the laser. You are absolutely correct. I think it is extremely useful to have a key bound that turns the laser on and off. Reason being, let's say this guy you want to hold the corner against, right? He can see your laser while you're holding this corner, but if you turn it off, he can't. He has no idea you're here. Then you can peek and kill him and then turn the laser back on and you have all the benefits. So you're going to want a key that has quick access to the canted aiming to make weapons that maybe have less than ideal ADS times better in CQC. And you're going to want to have a key bound that allows you to turn the laser on and off, ideally fairly quickly and easily accessible so that you can hold corners more effectively in CQC and even in mid-range because they can see the laser from a pretty large distance. So that is the sort of laser meta explained. And next I'm going to talk about the movement stuff. If you've been enjoying the video so far, please hit the subscribe button and of course like the video to let YouTube know that this video is pretty cool. All right, so I finally managed to find a safe area to try to demonstrate some movement stuff for you guys. So the first thing you're going to want to understand about this game's movement is that the slide, okay, the slide that you see here, it's only available on a single character in the game, which is D-Wolf, okay? So generally speaking, you're not going to have the slide available unless your main character you play is D-Wolf, and the slide is really not, it's not that useful. I mean, you can slide into cover, you can like slide off objects and stuff for like momentum, but generally speaking, it's not the end of the world not having the slide available to you. I do wish it was available, but you can cancel the slide just by hitting the same key. So like slide and then cancel. It's not like a slide cancel from Call of Duty, but you can just cancel the motion of the slide rather. Now let's get into leaning. Lean peeking in this game. You know, lean left, lean right. The tighter peek, meaning the peek that shows less of your body, typically speaking in games with leaning, is the right peek, right? Like this. Because if you think about it, the weapon is on the right side of your body, which means if you peek right, it should only be showing like your shoulder and your head and your weapon. If you peek left, because the weapon's on the right side of your body, as you can see, basically my entire torso / like some other parts of my body, like my leg and stuff like that, should be exposed on the left. So if you want to hold a corner and you want to be harder to hit, the right peak is going to be the better peak to hold here if you're leaning. Now, drop shotting, okay? This game does have a drop shot, ladies and gentlemen, right? You can shoot while you are proning. This is not, and I repeat, not very good unless it is extreme CQC. I'm talking like this distance, okay? Now, how you want to use this? So obviously the way you do it is as you're shooting, you just hit prone, okay? And you know, you hit it once, you go to the ground, and then if you want to stand up, you obviously hit space or whatever key you have set to, you know, change stance. The way I do it is I hit prone, and then as I hit the ground, I hit space to stand back up, and you can do cool things like this. Right, and that can help you peek certain situations. You can go from ADS to prone, right? So if you're shooting ADS, you can prone, and then it'll re-ADS, but as you can see during the animation, it does un-ADS you to make you less accurate. Again, the situation is to use this. Extreme CQC. So let's say there's a guy in this corner. You can jump and then... Let's say he's like right here, right? I could like, you know, jump and then land proning and then go back around the corner, slide around, and then I'm fine, right? So extreme CQC only for the drop shot. Crouching is pretty useful. You can just throw like a little crouch in there in gunfights. I do find that to be fairly useful as well. And then jumping. Jump peeking in this game is not really that great. However, in certain situations, which you need to be able to discern while you're playing the game, jump peeking can be good. Like for instance, I mentioned like this corner here. If I like jump over here and I know there's like a 1v1 I can take where a guy's like, I don't know, in the open, you want to surprise them, you can absolutely jump peek and then fly across their screen and kill them. However, it is absolutely not as strong like games like Battlefield 2042 or Call of Duty. You have to use it very intelligently like the drop shot. Other than that, that's really the only movement stuff I found in this game. I think it has fairly simplistic movement. Obviously, there's just like the... there's the normal sprint and there's the tac sprint. I haven't really noticed much difference between them. If anything, the tactical sprint, you just have worse sprint out time, which again, I don't really feel in the game. I don't really think it matters that much. But other than that, just keep in mind, holding the right peak should be better than holding the left peak because it shows less of your body. Try to drop shot and then combine that with another stance switch. So drop shot into like crouch, drop shot into standing up in CQC only, and maybe use jump peeking. And that is really it for the movement, and it's kind of up to you to figure out how to implement that in your gameplay. So if you enjoyed the content, ladies and gentlemen, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Come by the Twitch streams. I stream every single day at twitch.tv/enders. First link in the description. And come by to watch me play in a $40,000 Delta Force tournament with my teammates. Hopefully we can bring that win for you. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to comment below what you want to see next. I will see you guys in the next one.